Yu-Gi-Oh has over thousands of cards in the game, but what if you couldn't use what you wanted? What if you were confined to only opening sealed products? In this series, I'll answer just that. Starting with 3 structure decks and a budget of $80 an episode, I'll attempt to build a complete competitive deck made entirely out of cards I pulled from sealed packs, all with the goal of getting my Yu-Gi-Oh WCQ Invite and going to Nationals. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Sealed Only 2 Fusions. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Sealed Only Fusions. Last time we began our journey to get our Nationals invite, and this time we get to start opening product to improve the deck and truly start sculpting it to be as competitive as possible. Now with all of that being said, which direction did I end up taking the deck? Okay, so I know it feels a little weird since we just opened 3 structure decks, but we're opening the Albaz Strike structure deck. We're also opening some rarity collection. I didn't know which one to go all in for. There's a lot of stuff we need out of rarity collection 1. There's a lot of stuff we need out of rarity collection 2. So overall, I feel like kind of going down the middle with them was the right play. These are expensive though. This was like 50 bucks for this. I'll put the prices on screen so you know exactly how much each stuff was, but yeah, this stuff was not cheap, so we couldn't buy that much of it. I want to get the structure deck out of the way first though. If you didn't know, Branded is one of the best fusion decks in Modern currently, and this pretty much has almost everything you need to play that as an engine. And to be a little more specific, Rarity 1 has Shaddoll Schism in here. That's mainly what we're looking for. Nadir Servant and Dogmatika Punishment would also be nice, and this has things like Polymerisation, Guardian Chimera, and some actual branded cards that don't come in here, so that's pretty good. It's pretty good. So introductions out of the way, we have 3 of the branded Albaz Strike structure deck, and I'm totally just gonna butcher the box. Damn. Yeah, that is not how they intended me to open it, but that is how I'm going to open it. We have our paper playmat. It's kind of too big for me to unfold on camera, but there we go. We have Lubellion and Mirror Jade. Cool. Toss that to the side. We have our little brick of cards. Okay, I've probably opened this structure deck like 8 times on the channel already, and I'm probably going to open it more. But yeah, as always, you kind of have to find the little thing on here. I think that's it. Yay! Okay, now we have a brick of cards. So to start us off, we have a Tri-Brigade Mercourier, a Springans Kitt, Golden Sword Soul, Mirror Jade, one of the new fusions we're going to be using as a boss monster. Put that to the side. We have a Lubellion, also put that to the side. That's amazing. And we have Branded Fusion. If you don't know what this card does, it's disgustingly good. It lets us fusion summon by using things from the deck, hand, or field. The only drawback being we're locked into fusions, but we don't really play link monsters in our build. There's a lot of branded stuff in here that we're not going to be playing, but Fallen of Albaz is actually one of the ones you actually do want to play. It's mandatory if you want to play branded. I'm probably only playing it at 1 or 2. Basically, if you normal summon it, you can discard a card to use it and something on your opponent's side of the field as fusion material. Really good card. We have an Albion. This is basically an upstart goblin for a deck. I probably will play this at 3. Dogmatika Fleur-de-lis would be nice if we do pull Ecclesia out of Rarity Collection number 1, but if we don't, it's no big deal. It's just something splashable. We have a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, a Thunder King Kaiju. Okay, so we have some Kaijus for the side deck. Super nice. We have a Chaos Dragon Levianeer, probably not going to come up. Another Kaiju. A banned card, Shoutouts. I hate this card. A White Dragon Wide Reverser, a Black Dragon Collapser, maybe potentially good for the future. Starleech Safer, Keeper of Dragon Magic is actually really good. It just searches any Polymerisation normal spell or Fusion normal spell. So this is a really nice starter for both of our engines. We might play this at 3. We have a Summoner Monk, a Ghost Ogre. Oh yeah, that's actually just a hand trap. Oh, Valor. Forgot these came in here, bro. We have a playset of hand traps. And these aren't even that bad right now. Those are pretty good. They're also light monsters, so we can go into construct easier. That's so solid. We have an Omni Dragon Brotar, Branded Lost, probably gonna be playing that. Branded and White, also probably gonna be playing that. Branded Bond, Fusion Recycling Plant, Gold Sark, might play this? No, I don't think we will actually. Extravagance might have a reason to go in the deck because we are a control deck. We actually have some more staples in here that I forgot about too. We have Called by the Grave, incredibly good for hand traps. It's at 1, so we're just gonna be playing the 1. And next we have Dark Ruler No More. This is a nice board breaker. We're definitely going to be playing that. Screams of the Branded, Judgment of the Branded, Necrofusion. This is our 4th copy. We're gonna have 6 copies by the end of this episode. Back to the Front, Warning Point, Tikaboo freshly at 1. And D-Bear. Okay, this is actually quite honestly one of the most broken cards we could have had for episode 2. Basically, it just turns off a whole mechanic of summoning for a turn. Definitely going to be going into the side deck. Waking the Dragon. I'm probably not playing this. Titaniclad, Brigand, Sprint, Albion, and some tokens. Probably not going to be playing a bunch of the Albaz fusions. I have no idea how to build the deck for week 2, if I'm being real. But it's good to have options. It's very good to have options. But yeah, that is the first structure deck down. We do have a bunch of these tokens. I do like these tokens. But yeah, let me crack open 2 more of those real quick just to get everything we need. Alright, so that is actually all of the stuff we need out of 3 structure decks. It's in a big pile. Now that we have all of that, we can actually move on to the stuff that's not guaranteed out of this opening. So I have not opened a single pack of Rarity Collection 2 yet. The set looks kind of mid, but there's so much stuff in here that personally I want. Like Charge of the Light Brigade, Raiko, and then I'm also a branded player like all outside of this series. So I want all of that stuff, and I'm also a Chimera player, so there's Chimera stuff. There's just too much I want out of this set. There's also staples, there's also staples. So I'm gonna start with Rarity Collection 1 and just alternate between the 2, because this is the less exciting pack for me. I've opened this a ton and sealed only 1. We have an Eldritch, that might be a good one of. Ooh, that's a banned card. I love you, Borload Savage Dragon, but ooh, yeah, that's actually kind of sad. Egyptian God Slime, Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon, Pot of Desires. Yeah, this is one of my favorite cards, and I'm sad it's gone. I love you, buddy. Second pack of Rarity Collection numero uno. We have a Pot of Extravagance Rarity upgrade. We just pulled 3 of it from those structures. Pardon me, structures. Sorry. Next up, we have a Time Thief Redoer. That might go in the extra deck. That's pretty cool. Simoon the Poison Wind. A Sphere Mode. Probably not playing that. Ooh, a Dogmatika Punishment. This is actually huge in our deck. This is so good. Basically, it lets us target a face-up monster our opponent controls and then send a monster from the extra deck with equal to or higher attack than it to destroy that monster. So we can send things like Construct, Winda, pretty much any Shaddoll Fusion to grab back our Shaddoll spell traps. But if we send App Cologne, it actually adds 1 and then discards 1. So it's a great way to play on our opponent's turn. Couple this with something like Ecclesia, which can search this out, or a Nadir Servant, which can also search out Ecclesia. We have a lot of ways to get to this, provided that we pull them, of course. But moving on to our first pack of Rarity Collection 2, these are a lot thicker. There's more cards per pack in these. We have Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Weird to see this in super rare. Rescue Rabbit. 2 of them? 2 of the same rarity? Oh no, that's a ultra. My bad. Rescue Cat. Oh, we're just getting all the rescues. Ooh, Apollosa. Oh, that is so sick. Yeah, that is just that's an ultra rare Apollosa. It's a really nice reprint. I would have loved to get this in secret rare or something higher, but probably not playing this in the series. You don't really have that many ways to make it. But it's nice to see regardless. Ooh, Raiko. That's also super sick. Pearly Pretty Memory in secret rare. That's really nice. This whole deck is so cheap now. I'm considering picking it up. Next up. Ooh, MST in a secret rare. I did pick up one of these last week. At my last locals, I picked up one of these because I am a GOAT player. Pretty sure I just released a GOAT video on the channel. Go check that out. Yeah, this is so gorgeous. And last card in the pack, Forbidden Lance. This is kind of miscut. Yeah, probably not playing this anyways. All right, interesting first pack of Rarity 2. It's the first pack I opened of it, and it wasn't even that bad. All right, but Rarity Collection 1 is what I need. I need to pull a Shaddoll Schism. If I don't pull it this episode, it's not as good. We have a Nightmare Unicorn. Evenly matched in secret. That's actually really pretty. Downward Magician. Nadir Servant is super nice if we had something to search off of it. And Preparation of Rites. Ooh, we didn't pull Schism. That's fine. Nadir is something I wanted to play set of. So we can add Albaz off of it too. So it's not like it's dead. It's still a starter. I have conflicting feelings on Nadir Servant right now. The evenly matched is super nice. I'll definitely take that. All right. Last pack of the opening. I would like to pull Polymerisation, maybe a Guardian Chimera. That would be really nice. Sorry, I thought that was glue right there. I thought this was resealed for a moment. We have a My Friend Pearly. Oh, we have something in here. I can see that sparkle. Yeah, here's Mi Amigo Pearly. Twin Twisters, pretty nice. Book of Moon. Oh, that's actually really good in our deck. I might consider this. Xyz Encore in Premium Collector's Rare. Sorry, it took me a moment, but these look sparklier than before. These look kind of nice. I like this. Very niche card, probably not playing it. Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. Another rescue cat. There's no shortage of the rescue monsters. We have tons of these now. Fusion Deployment in Secret Rare. Oh, that's super nice. Oh, I think we have a QCR. After this, I'm pretty sure is the QCR, but this is also just a really good card. Probably not playing it right now, as the best thing we can get off of it is Cartagia, and we don't have that, but I'm happy about this nonetheless. But after this, we have a QCR. It's... Ooh, Forbidden Lands. I just said we weren't going to play this. That's so sad, but a QCR is a QCR. I'll take it. And then we have... Oh, Phantasme. I'll definitely play that. Wow. I do love QCRs. People say it's too sparkly. Not for me, bro. Not for me. I love this already. All right, well, a lot of things to splash into this deck now. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing with the deck for this episode, but I'll definitely see you guys in a minute for a huge deck edit. Alright, so for episode 2, we have a complete rework of our deck, including a combo right after the profile. It's about half branded, half Shaddoll, but the branded portion helps bridge into the Shaddoll portion, which is just absolutely insane. So to start us off, we have 2 Springans Kitt and the 1 Keeper of Dragon Magic. These are our starters for the deck. Springans Kitt gets us specifically into branded spells, and Keeper of Dragon Magic searches any Polymerisation or Fusion normal spell. So we can grab things like Instant Fusion, Branded Fusion, Shaddoll Fusion, just everything you need that is a normal spell and says Fusion. It doesn't get us into Super Poly. Really love this card. This card's insane. These both come at the cost of either discarding a card or putting a card from the hand on the bottom of the deck, but it's a small price to pay for consistency. Honestly, after this episode, I might bump both of these cards up to 3 because I greatly underestimated how much they helped me get into the Shaddoll engine. Next up, we have 2 Fallen of Albaz, 2 Mercourier, and the 1 Albion. So this does it pretty much for the branded monsters. Mercourier is at 2 because, spoiler alert, I am playing Allure of Darkness, and it helps us bridge because if it's banished off of Allure, we get to add Springans Kitt, so it's another layer of consistency. For the Shaddoll engine, I kind of cut it down a bit just because you have to. You can't play that many normal summons or your brick, so I played 2 Squamata, 2 Wendi, 1 Dragon, 1 Beast, 1 Hedgehog, 1 Falco, and the 1 Ariel. Honestly, after this week, I might cut out the Falco. It's not mandatory anymore, and Hedgehog is actually, while it's good, it's not really something that came up all that often. I did like these ratios though. I felt like we didn't need anything outside of this. It felt like perfect. I never regretted playing any of these at 1. But for the spells, I played 3 Branded Fusion, 3 Shaddoll Fusion, 3 Shaddoll Fusion, 3 Super Polymerisation, and the 3 Allure of Darkness for the 3 ofs, and then we have the 1 Branded Lost, 1 Nadir Servant, and the 1 Called By. If I'm being completely honest, this is incredible for the deck. This card gives us so much advantage, being able to send something from the extract to the graveyard and adding Fallen of Albaz. Really, really good. I love it. And lastly, you do have to play quite a number of traps. I am playing the 3 Sinister Shadow games, 2 Reshaddoll Incarnation, 1 Retribution, and the 1 Punishment. You kind of have to play some of these because if you get interrupted on your branded stuff, the Sinister Shadow games is a nice backup, and the Reshaddoll is a great discard off of something like Branded Fusion. And Punishment is also just insane currently in our deck. But yeah, that does it for the extra deck. It's actually 42 cards, and I felt like it was fine to go above 40 in this deck because we just have so many like tiny little bricks, tiny little bricks, but so many ways to play that it just felt fine, especially with the 3 Allure in the deck. It's not once per turn, so we can pretty much draw 2 multiple times if we really wanted to. But yeah, that does it for the main deck. Let's move on to the extra. For the extra deck, it underwent a huge overhaul with all the new cards we have, but I played 2 Mirror Jade, 2 Lubellion because you need to be able to shuffle back. The dark is really what you're sending off of Branded Fusion in this deck. 1 Albion, it honestly did not come up. I had no way to make this, but it's super nice to send off of Mirror Jade. 1 Sprint because it's just something I can make with Albaz. 2 Winda, 2 App Cologne, 1 Construct, and then 1 of pretty much everything else for Shadolls. You want to be playing these only because they're good Super Poly targets, and it's nice to be able to make them at certain points. Like if you really need to, you have options. But I felt like with Nadir Servant, you need to play 2 App Cologne, and 2 Winda just kind of felt like it was mandatory, as sometimes your Winda gets negated and you have like an El Shaddoll to make another one on your opponent's turn. So I like this. I like this extra deck a lot. It's kind of hard to fit other things in here, but having a Super Poly target for pretty much every attribute is insane. Pretty much every card in here can be made off of Super Poly. This deck has no weakness when it comes to that, and I love that. And I will say, like, nothing in here like felt like I needed more of it or less of it. Like the Albion, we don't play a single light monster in the main deck. I don't know if you noticed that, but yeah, it just felt like we didn't need certain other cards. And for the side deck, it was a little tight, but I felt like 3 Lava Golem was the play. This is always going to be the play because we don't always use like our normal summon. 3 Veiler for things like Fluwanderies, 3 Twin Twisters, 3 Dimensional Barrier as it's the best going first card in a side deck right now, 2 Unending Nightmare for things like Centurion. I know Dice is on that right now, and the 1 Evenly Matched because it's so good and I want to be playing it. Okay, but you might be wondering why I went branded with this deck, and the answer is really quite simple. It has a lot of ways to bridge into your Shaddoll engine, and I'll show that off in this combo. So what you need to do is you need to have Branded Fusion and Reshaddoll Incarnation. This is our nice little 2-card setup that we have. So we can go Branded Fusion, sending Albaz and Squamata. This gets us into our Lubellion, and you can go Chainlink 1 Squamata to send a Shaddoll card, Chainlink 2 Lubellion, send the Reshaddoll Incarnation to shuffle back either these 2 or these 2, and you can make Wendi here using these 2, but honestly, I feel like this is the better play. You can go shuffle these 2 back, so shuffle back the Albaz, shuffle back the Lubellion, make Mirror Jade, and this sets us up Recursion and a Regeki on our opponent's turn if they destroy it, and then Squamata will go ahead and send Wendi, and since Wendi was sent to the graveyard by card effect, it will now summon something from deck in face down defense position. So you can set whatever you want here. I like setting Dragon because it returns to hand, so it's pretty good against things that can't be destroyed. And basically what you've done is you've set up 2 interactions. On your opponent's turn, you can send off of Mirror Jade, you can send your Albion or your Sprint, and that gets us a banish on any monster. But then whenever we need to return something to the hand or destroy it, we can go Reshaddoll Incarnation, banish itself, and another Shaddoll name to flip this face up. This of course triggers its flip effect to return a monster to the hand. And during the end phase, we can go Albion effect and search ourselves any branded spell/trap. Preferably, we search another copy of Branded Fusion. But that's what we get off of Branded Fusion plus Reshaddoll, and you can play it a little differently if you really think your Winda is your main win condition here. We could rewind to this scenario where Lubellion has pitched the Reshaddoll and the Squamata has triggered to send, and we can shuffle back these 2. This gets our Winda out, but we also get to send Wendi, and then Wendi can pretty much set anything for the deck, and now we have Winda plus a way to return a monster to the hand, so their 1 special summon doesn't matter. This setup is actually incredibly good versus things like Fenrir, which would otherwise just like totally destroy our Winda. But I will say this play is susceptible to things like Imperm, Droplet, Chalice, the likes. But if they don't have it, they don't have it. So this is a good win condition in my opinion. But enough about the combos, let's see how this does in an actual tournament. Okay, so once again, we're at Easy Gaming's Friday Night Locals, and while it is a shorter Locals with only 3 rounds, it had 8 players, so it wasn't a small Locals by any means. Anyways, for round 1, I was up against John on Danger Dark World. He won the die roll and went first, and if I'm being honest, the game was super winnable, but I kinda just fumbled. I said another card when I should have said Super Poly, and that small mistake allowed him to summon Bigfoot and simply beat over my Winda. I'm not sure I would have won the first game if this didn't happen, but regardless, this loss is my own fault. Game 2, however, I went first and set up the 2-card combo I mentioned earlier, where I ended up with Mirror Jade, a Squamata set, Reshaddoll engraved, plus I had 2 set cards. When I pass it over to him, he actually has a really good hand, with cards like Triple Tactics Talents and Card Destruction. However, since he chose to draw 2 with Tactics, all he could really do is pop my Mirror Jade with Grapha, which I chained to set up Albion. Plus, while he did have gates to extend, I had Sinister Shadow Games to send Dragon and destroy it. This leads to him having to pass, and thanks to Albion, I was able to get enough advantage to OTK him on my next turn. Game 3, he went first, and one of his first things that he did was activate gates and use Mothman's effect. I actually sniped the Mothman out of his hand, which allowed him to trigger his Grave effect, allowing both players to draw and discard a card. This is great for him as it allows him to discard his Ceruli, but even better for me as it allows me to discard my Squamata. Squamata sends Dragon from deck and Dragon destroys his gates. Ceruli triggers and actually makes him discard a card, and since I hit Tsuchinoko, all it did was special summon itself, and from there he just had to pass. And on my following turn, I was able to OTK. Good games to John. Round 2, I was up against Andrew on Witchcrafters. Now this matchup is super winnable if I go first because Wenda is just that good against all combo decks. But if I'm being completely honest, I wasn't able to beat him. I swear I'm cursed when I play against him, because while I can make my board multiple times during the match, game 3 I just didn't have the out to Madame Bear, and he saw the out to my window before I can get over it. One day I'll be able to beat Witchcrafters. One day. But in the meantime, good games to Andrew. Round 3, I was up against Clayton on Marincess. Unlike last episode, I won the die roll and went first. I had started with Branded Fusion, but a Veiler on my Lubellion stopped me from getting Mirror Jade. The Squamata still resolved, sending Wendi. And Wendi set Dragon from deck. And from here, I can set 3 and pass. Clayton starts by normal summoning Blue Tang, which sends Spring Girl. I'm pretty sure that the deck can't play past its normal summon. Feel free to correct me in the comments, but at the time of the recording, I activated Sinister Shadow Games on Resolution. However, Clayton ashes this. I decided to use Dogmatika Punishment here because I really don't want this deck to snowball on me, and luckily I was correct in this instance. I sent Albion to get rid of Blue Tang, and Clayton had to pass, with Albion grabbing me Branded Fusion in the end phase. On my next turn, I got 2 lethal on my 4th summon and took game 1. Game 2, Clayton went first, and honestly, look at this board. How am I supposed to break this? He does let Branded Fusion resolve, but all that gets me is a draw of a Beast. Funnily enough, Beast does draw me into this. However, it's too late. I had burned through all of my meaningful resources, and on his following turn, Clayton had combos, so Clayton ended up taking game 2. Game 3, my Branded Fusion gets ashed, but I'm still able to set El Shaddoll Fusion and pass. He goes to main phase and dusters me, and thankfully, I could just chain the El Shaddoll Fusion to make Wenda. But when Wenda hits the board, he scoops because he couldn't out it. That's just how some of the games go when Wenda's evolved, but nonetheless, good games to Clayton. Now, I'm honestly shocked with how much the deck has changed in terms of playability. We're definitely on the right track to get this thing ready to be played competitively, even if we're missing a couple key cards like Shaddoll Schism and Guardian Chimera. However, I'm sure I'll be able to pull what we're missing in the next episode. Also, thanks to this episode's tournament, I got 4th place, and with it, I got 1 Rarity Collection 2-pack, so that will be in next episode's opening in addition to the $80 budget. So if you want to keep up with the series, make sure to subscribe. These episodes are monthly, plus I'm starting a new series called Yu-Gi-Oh! Win or Bust, which the first episode will be out next week. I'm super excited to be working on both of these series, so stick around. And if you want a sweet playmat like mine, head on over to GrimoireAccessories.com and use code GOKI5 for 5% off your entire order. But with that, my name is Gokuzemi, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Sealed Only Fusions. See ya!